Hello, this is Shanker, and on this channel today I will talk about the world and as I see certain things. I may be wrong or right. They are my personal views, and it's what I see what is happening around India. I mean that is the topic, and without going into the details of exactly what is happening, I I would like to discuss on what is the way things have happened, and that would give you an understanding. The one word which comes to my mind is subversion, the art of subversion, which has been followed in a very clear and a calculated way for countries which are around India, major countries which are around India. Now, what do I mean by subversion? I mean, this subversion is a method which takes about 15 to 20 years to destroy the religious, economic, political, and the various other institutions which are in a country. It takes 15 to 20 years. Why? Because that is what is a generation which you can influence. And the way you do it in such a way that things which are not actually good for you or for your country are adopted and you are psychologically made to agree to those things and to those values which ultimately do not benefit you. And there would be a group of people who would be more equal, who would be more unequal than the equals. Now, here what happens is, first and foremost, is the religious system. In a country, if you are able to send a group of people and destroy religion does not religion does not mean what you worship or what you do, what faith you have, but you create a dogma within religion. And the most important thing of a religion is that it makes people interact socially and mentally, and it stimulates your entire, the entire civilization which is there in that place, that country. So a slow and systematic destruction of this takes place. Second thing, what happens is that with the inflow of capital, which may be not the capital which is generated in your country, but capital which comes from outside, you are told things about equality and that there should be equal opportunities. With this particular thought of equal opportunity, and people do get attracted to this thought of equal opportunity, what happens is you produce people who actually get subverted into being equal to others. This is just a thought which happens, that you tend to be made or shown that you're equal, and a group of people at the top who actually start ruling you, who start commanding you. That's what happens, and this whole process of equality is slowly put into the countries by the inflow of capital. And this capital, of course, is controlled by somebody else. The third thing which is done is destroying the bargaining power of the people and the employers. A group of employers come in who become very powerful. They could be again having the capital of a country or from a corpus, and they start controlling you as a person, and they slowly destroy your bargaining power. After this is obviously what happens is a slow erosion of the legal system, which is legal. And the most important role is played by media and mass communication, where don't need much. You need about a few thousand people, a few hundred people who come and say what is wanted to be said, and you repeat it. You say it again and again. I mean, there is no democracy in media, but the media is controlled and it is fed to people. Over and above this, you need groups to do some destruction. You don't have to put your army. Within the system only, by tinkling into the religious, social, economic, and the political system, as I try to explain in brief, you create kind of a friction between people where a group of people start blowing things and creating issues, and you have a group of people who start protecting you from them, and that again has an influence from, it could be a foreign influence. So you create a kind of a destruction, internal destruction all the time, and you have some soldiers and generals who are loyal to somebody else and more interested in the pay packets, could be from your country itself, who start managing that destruction which takes place. So this is how subversion happens, and this is how people or countries have controlled nations. And this is a method which is a very good method, takes about 15-20 years, I said, where this whole thing of equality is superimposed on you, and most importantly is religion is finished. There's nothing as equality, as far as my view is concerned. There is nothing as equality. No two people can be equal. You can have a tall, big man who could be a fool, and you could have a small man, bald-headed, who would be very intelligent. And there is nothing as equality or distribution of money, which is done in an artificial way, where the mediocres or the people who have been brainwashed for a long time, they start feeling comfortable in that country. And superimposed by various other things which I have told you, makes a power or somebody to take total control over you. I mean, when we talk about equality, it is nothing as equality. You have a group of unequal and equal people who work together to help each other to make a society, and that is what a nation should be, which is there in a country like India or in a country like USA. So that is what it is, and that is how it should be. So, but this method has been adopted by certain countries, and have been able to actually take control not only of the nation but of the people, of the psyche, and by various other methods they control the army, the people at the top, and the control is rigid. By the time you understand it, it's also too late. Now this is what is perhaps also a policy which has been adopted by China, and Chinese have a lot of influence on our countries around us, like Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, to some extent, and Tibet, where they have been able to, over a period of 15-20 years, not only get into the psyche of the people, but by a proper and a concerted method of subversion, which did not require a war to be done. They are there, they are in control, not only of the people, but also the management of the entire country in a particular way, which is an organized way, which has crept into their religious, social, political, lawmaking fabric in in ways where even the people there have accepted it as a reasonable way of life. So that is what it is, and that is a thing which we all should ponder at, and especially a country like India, which is surrounded by these small countries, should be careful. We should also understand that the whole process of war today is like it's there's no war. It's like it's like judo or martial art. I mean, we need to be very clear. If there is a person who is very big and if he is going to hit you, it is no use of trying to stop his punch, because that's going to hit you badly. I mean, the best way would be to you know the way it is taught in martial art and in judo is to put yourself on the side and use the power of the other person in a way, in the direction and the energy in a way that you throw the person away. That is how it has to be done, and that is how it may have to be done. It is easy said than done, but this is one thing which comes to my mind when I talk. So as we go ahead, we have today India, which is surrounded by countries which are influenced by China, and let us understand that there cannot be any compromise without conflict. There cannot be any compromise without a war. So some kind of conflicts have to take place for compromises to happen. And maybe that is what is there on the board, which we have to take into consideration. I do not think that wars finish an economy. In fact, the threat of war, the threat to fight enhances your economy. It will make you to manufacture things which you need. It will make you more self-reliant. It will make you more Atmanirbhar, which is a very important thing which has been taught by our Prime Minister. So I don't think that the threat of war may actually put an economy down. And history is also, if you look at history of the past, after every war, the countries who have gone in the war and fought it, they have come out, 100 times stronger. So that doesn't really, that I'm very optimistic about it in the way I look at things. We, as a country, have to align ourselves, I feel, to various countries, and one of the most important countries which is excellent in electronics, communication, and warfare material is Israel. I think India should make a strategic alliance or a tactical alliance, whatever, with Israel. And it is a country, small country, but has great things going. When I was working for Nortel, I did get an insight of Bezek, and it was amazing at that time. It was 20 years back, 30 years back. So today it's like, I mean, it must have developed like hell, but I've not been there in the international part of the scene. But Israel is a country. US again is a country which India is aligned in. But of course, US has ambitions in Afghanistan where it wants India to help it, etc., etc. But I don't want to go on those topics. But the same threat which is there for India in terms of subversion and in terms of getting into the countries in a very systematic way, and then fighting the people around you. The same threat could also be there for the United States and other countries also. So this is one thing which came to my mind, and on the international scenario, which I thought I'll put it on the video. This is my personal take, my personal thought, based, of course, on a lot of reading and listening. But this is my absolute personal opinion. It has nothing to do with any other position which I hold or any other thing. It's totally my personal opinion. So, thank you. Thanks a lot for hearing me. Please subscribe to my channel, though it's an astrology channel, but sometimes I do talk about these things. And in the end, I would like to say that my view is that the biggest thing which holds a country is religion. And it's my personal view. And if you look at the Mohenjo-daro, the Babylonian Empire, and the Mauryan Empire, and other empires which were disintegrated and today are not known, absolutely not known today. They have vanished. They have vanished because they lost that religious thread which ran in the country. And religion does not mean God. Religion means it's a social interaction between people which harmonizes and is a method of communication which is the best method of communication and consolidation between people. So we should not lose that within our country, which is very important. And even history has, if you read history, it will explain you that. Thank you. Thanks a lot for hearing me out. Thank you.